Great day, whether you are a day away or 5 hours away. I love you. Okay, I want to make this video short and sweet, but here's the word of the day. Do not use your trauma against somebody else's trauma, and do not use your trauma only when you want to gaslight or silence somebody else. I hate when motherfuckers do this, because I was just looking at a thread on Twitter where someone said that they never heard someone say that light-skinned people are more attractive than dark-skinned people. He said this light-skinned man said this. So he was arguing back and forth with another light-skinned biracial girl. And she said, while I personally do not believe that I'm more attractive than anybody else because of my skin color, I do know that in society, people believe that having lighter skin or having skin that is close to whiteness is more attractive. So he said, no, I ain't never heard that. I ain't never heard a light-skinned person say that they are more attractive because they are light-skinned. And then all of a sudden he says, but I distinctly remember getting made fun of because I'm light-skinned or I'm mixed, and other light-skinned mixed people feel this way as well. So you remember all the times you got bullied because you're light-skinned and you're half white and all of this, yet you can't remember any time where someone said that dark-skinned people are unattractive, or they are terrible people, or they are brutal people, they are violent and all of that. So you ain't never heard nobody say anything negative about dark-skinned people in your life. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. What I think is, as any other light-skinned person, you feel as if anybody that says anything negative about you is hating or critiquing you in a harsh way, but you have everything to say about black people that are dark-skinned or darker than you even, because I never hear dark-skinned women share their experience with bullying or abuse and trauma without a light-skinned person sticking their nose and say, well, I was picked on for being light-skinned. I have never seen a situation where a dark-skinned woman was talking about her trauma and a light-skinned woman or man did not sit up here and try to say, well, I was bullied, so it's the same thing. And I hate when people do this, because it is selfish, it is inconsiderate. If I'm here talking about how I got bullied in high school and I was called the N-word and I was called an ape, and I had all types of people saying horrible things about me because of my skin color, because of my hair texture and race, why do you, as a light-skinned person lighter than me, why do you need to conflate your getting made fun of for being white or so-called white to my being dehumanized because I am black and I am darker than most people in my classes? Why do you feel the need to compare that to your experience? You got made fun of because your skin is light and you're close to white, apparently, but I can't say anything if I get dehumanized for the color of my skin or because of my hair texture or because of my features. That doesn't make any sense to me. It seems to me that you're guilty. You did something like that when you were a kid, and now you're embarrassed, and now you're trying to do damage control. And it's always light-skinned people or mixed people who now want to be part of the woke movement, who now want to be pro-black and want to hang out with all the cool black girls like SZA or Megan Thee Stallion, or all like the brown-skinned or dark-skinned girls that are actually making shit happen. Now that y'all want to be cool with us, all of them, then all of a sudden you want to erase the fact that you was talking shit about us not too long ago. And 5 years ago is not long ago at all. I don't know why people act as if 2016 happened eons ago, because to me, 2016 was just yesterday. 2014 was just yesterday to me, and I'm 25. Y'all may be 19 and y'all think, oh, well, 2014 was like so long ago. No, it wasn't, because I was in college in 2014. I was 20. I was about to be 21. And y'all sitting up here acting as if 2014 is so archaic of a time that we weren't calling out Iggy Azalea for racism and cultural appropriation. We weren't calling out T.I. for supporting her. We weren't defending Azealia Banks because she was calling out people like Iggy Azalea of course, a lot has changed since then with Azealia, but a lot of these people like Iggy and T.I. have not really changed. They have just evolved into an era where you have to be woke and you get all these accolades for saying the right things. People like me have been talking about this since 2013. I have evolved into a better person because in my older videos, I looked a hot ass mess. So a lot of my older videos, I put that on private, I put that on unlisted because I just looked a hot mess. I was young. I didn't really know how to take care of my appearance. Nobody, see, and let me tell you this, a lot of us do not have good friends that tell us, girl, I'm sorry, but you look a mess. Here are some outfits. At the time, we did not even have people like Fashion Nova to tell us, hey girl, look hot, okay? You know, this is a good outfit for you. Because we just had like some Dillard's, some JCPenney's, you know, these little rural ass stores. You know, I'm from Indiana. So a lot of us did not really dress properly, especially, you see, in Louisville or in Indianapolis, when you live in a city or like Fort Wayne, yeah, you can dress a little bit hip because you're out more into the metropolitan areas. But when you out in like the smaller cities and you a black girl, sometimes you gonna look a hot ass mess, especially when you're around all those white people. And there is definitely some truth to when people say all the black girls that want to fit in with the white people always look a hot ass mess and their hair is all over the place. Because there is no black person to tell you, girl, bitch, fix your hair. Let me give you a sew-in. Let me give you some braids. Bitch, please. I ain't never had that type of friend until college that said, bitch, you look a hot ass mess. Let me fix your hair. But I went on a tangent. But as I'm saying, I really wish people would stop using their trauma whenever they want to erase someone else's trauma. I said the other day about that guy that I had fallen out with. He wasn't trying to hear my trauma or my experience. He was trying to tell me where he was coming from without even wanting to understand where I was coming from. He can sit here and talk about how he grew up insecure about his looks and his height and his size and all of that. But I say something about my appearance and how when you're a black girl in a mostly white city or a school, of course you're going to have these paranoia or insecurities where I don't even think that he likes black girls. So he wasn't really trying to understand where I was coming from. He was trying to make like I was this irrational, ignorant black woman that did not even know what she was talking about. And that made me mad because you have talked about being called half-breed and being called nigger before by white boys. And yet, when this black girl is trying to tell you that she had similar experiences, you're like turning the other way, or you're like putting your hand up and you're not listening, or you are looking and listening, but yet you don't have anything to say. And I noticed he had nothing to say when I explained where I was coming from and when I explained my trauma and experiences, but yet before it was all about his insecurities and, you know, it's so hard being, you know, skinny and, you know, light skin and short and all. Like, I have to hear his insecurities all the fucking time. Yeah, it's time to tell you about my insecurities. You treat it like, oh, it's just women being women. I feel that's misogynistic. It's sexist for you to sit up here and to treat a black woman, a brown-skinned black woman, as if her insecurities don't mean anything. It's just petty female problems. And I hate that, especially when it comes to racism or when it comes to colorism or ableism. And here's somebody who is autistic, who is brown skinned, who is visibly black, telling you that she has a lot of insecurities and trauma because people made fun of her in middle school and high school. People called her things like retarded, retard. They called her ableist slurs. They called her hideous. They talked about her features. They talked about her hair. And yes, I admit my hair was a hot mess, but their hair didn't look any better as well. And yeah, I was calling them nappy and bald headed because, bitch, how you gonna have damaged ass hair and you gonna talk about my hair as well? So I wasn't innocent either. I was saying, bitch, you bald headed as well, because we were all bald headed, calling each other bald headed. Even the light skinned mixed girls were trying to talk about my fucking hair. And it's like, bitch, you got all this heat damage. Bitch, your hair nappy as shit too. Bitch, your hair is unkempt. So what are you talking about? But I just want people to stop using their trauma to speak over somebody else's trauma, and stop using your trauma to excuse the bad shit that you've done unto others. I don't care that you were raped or you were abused by your father when here you are defending someone's rapist, or here you are laughing at somebody's rape, or here you are making fun of somebody for being raped. Like, do not bring up your trauma. Oh, I've been through so much. That's why I said what I said. Okay, so it's okay to hurt others because you were hurt. And a lot of black people do this. Oh, I dealt with so much trauma from being made fun of my skin color, so I decided to make fun of somebody else's skin color and call them blackie, or said that they look like a damn tar Duracell battery, all of that. I heard so many black men try to excuse the fact that they made so many dark-skinned black girls cry and suicidal because they were going through some shit. You don't understand that black girls and black women have feelings. We aren't these cold, robotic, strong archetypes that people try to portray us in the media. We cry, we have feelings, we laugh, we get angry, we get emotional, we fall in love, we fall out in love, we hate. We are like everybody else. We are human. So when you say things about people, about their skin color or their hair texture or the width of their nose or the size of their lips or their body type, that hurts. And I think a lot of you guys know this, but you don't care until it happens to you. And you want to bring up something that happened to you in elementary school, but yeah, I can bring up something that happened to me 2 years ago. And you act like, oh, well, that don't matter. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to stress this again. Do not use your trauma to try to speak over somebody else's trauma. It's selfish.